Do you think I still deserve happiness? That's what she asked him. A blind date, a café, two broken people who almost never met because she tried to run the moment he saw what she'd been hiding. Prosthetic arms, both of them. A manufacturing accident had taken everything. Her arms, her fiancé, her belief that anyone could ever love her again. But he didn't let her run. Before we continue, tell us in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories travel. The Copperleaf Cafe smelled of roasted coffee beans and cinnamon. Warren Flincher sat by the window, his coffee cooling untouched, his heart hammering against his ribs. 2 o'clock. She'd said 2. His phone buzzed. His sister, Paige. You better not have bailed. He hadn't, but every part of him wanted to leave before he had to sit across from someone and pretend he was whole. Then he saw her. She moved slowly down the sidewalk, each step deliberate, blonde hair in a ponytail, prosthetic arms exposed from shoulder down, metal and joints ending in hook-like attachments that caught the afternoon light. She looked just like her photos, only the photos had hidden the truth. She'd been sitting, arms positioned carefully. She'd been hiding. Kelly nudged the cafe door open with her shoulder. Their eyes met. Warren raised a hand in a small wave, offering a gentle smile. Fear flashed across her face. Not nerves, but a raw, panicked fear, followed by a wave of shame so heavy he could almost feel it. She stepped backward toward the door. Warren was on his feet before he realized, crossing the cafe in 4 long strides. "Wait," he said softly as her shoulder hit the glass. "Please don't go." Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "This was a mistake. I thought maybe I could do this, but I can't. Look at me. How could someone like you possibly want—" "Then help me understand," Warren cut in gently. "We don't have to stay here if you're uncomfortable. Just, please don't leave without giving us a chance to talk." A tear slid down Kelly's cheek. She tried to wipe it with her shoulder but couldn't reach. The attempt was awkward, clumsy, and she let out a frustrated sound. "I can't even wipe away my own tears. I can't." Something in Warren's chest gave way. He reached out and brushed the tear from her cheek with his thumb. "May I?" he asked softly, even though he already had. Kelly's breath hitched as more tears flowed. "Now you see, I can't do the simplest things." "Hey," Warren murmured, his voice barely above the cafe's quiet hum. "Can I tell you something? I almost didn't come today either. I spent all morning convinced I had nothing to offer anyone. My daughter, she's 7, had to give me a pep talk over breakfast because I was spiraling." Despite herself, Kelly's lips twitched. "Your daughter sounds wonderful." "She's everything," Warren said. He glanced around. A few customers were watching, poorly hiding their curiosity. "There's a beach about 10 minutes from here. Hidden Creek Beach. It's usually quiet this time of day. We could walk, talk. If you want to leave at any point, no questions asked. What do you think?" Kelly searched his face for pity, for the polite lie of someone looking for an exit. She didn't find it. "Okay," she said at last. "The beach." Hidden Creek Beach was small and tucked away, framed by smooth rocks worn down by years of waves. The water rolled in steadily, the late afternoon sun painting everything in gold. They walked in silence, Warren matching her careful pace through the soft sand. He noticed how much focus each step cost her. "I lost them in a manufacturing accident 4 years ago," Kelly said finally. "Textile plant in Ohio. Machine malfunction. Both arms just above the elbow. By the time they got me out—" She stared at the water. "By the time they got me out, there was nothing left to save." Warren said nothing. Every instinct begged him to fill the quiet with reassurance, but he knew she needed space to speak. "The prosthetics help with some things," she went on, lifting one mechanical arm a little. I can push doors open, carry bags if they have the right kind of handles, brace things against my body, but I can't pick things up. Can't button my own clothes. Can't tie my shoes. Can't cook a meal without dropping half of it. Can't hold a phone. Can't hug anyone back. She stopped and faced him, and this time he saw the unfiltered pain in her eyes. My fiancé left 6 months after the accident. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 8 months. He said he'd fallen in love with someone who could hold him, someone who could do normal things, someone who didn't need help with everything. Her voice shrank to a whisper. Someone whole. Anger rose in Warren's throat, sharp and hot, but he held it down. I moved to Ashland 8 months ago to start over, Kelly said. I work remotely as a data analyst, voice-to-text software, adaptive tech, custom interfaces. But even that has limits. I have a home care aide, Patricia, who comes 3 times a week to help with laundry, meal prep, getting dressed in anything with complicated buttons or zippers. She let out a bitter laugh. I'm 29 and I need help getting dressed. She looked up, shame burning in her gaze. The moment I saw you in that café looking so normal and handsome, I realized how stupid I'd been to think someone like you could ever want someone who needs this much help just to get through one day. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I'm sorry I... Stop, Warren said, the word firmer than he intended. He stepped directly in front of her. Can I tell you what I saw when you walked into that café? Kelly didn't answer, but she didn't look away. I saw a woman brave enough to show up even though she was terrified. Someone who'd been hurt deeply and still chose to try. His own throat tightened. My wife died 2 years ago, brain aneurysm. One moment she was making breakfast, the next she was on the floor and I was calling for help that came too late. Kelly's eyes widened. Her name was Colleen, Warren continued, the words loosening now that they'd started. We were married 8 years. She was funny and kind and endlessly patient with me. Iris, our daughter, was 5 when it happened. Too young to fully understand why Mommy wasn't coming home. Old enough to feel the emptiness in every quiet moment. He looked out at the water, seeing Colleen in his mind, laughing as she tied Iris's shoes. For 2 years, I've felt like I'm barely holding it together, he said softly. Like I'm failing at being a dad, at work, at just existing. I had to learn to braid hair, make vegetables look appealing, navigate 7-year-old social dynamics. I had to figure out how to be both parents when I could barely manage being one. His voice grew thick. Iris still asks me why Mommy had to leave, and every single time it breaks something inside me that I don't know how to fix. He turned back to Kelly, and there were tears on his own cheeks now. So when you ask how someone like me could want someone like you, Warren said, I see someone who gets up every morning and faces a world that wasn't built for her. Someone who's learned to adapt, to survive, to keep going, even when it would be easier to give up. That takes more strength than I have on most days. Kelly's tears came harder now, streaming down her face, unchecked. She couldn't wipe them away, could only let them fall. Warren pulled a tissue from his pocket and gently dried her cheeks, one side and then the other, careful and tender. I've got you, he whispered. It's okay. They stood like that for a long moment, the waves rolling in behind them, the sun beginning its descent toward the horizon. Would it be okay if I hugged you? Warren asked. Kelly nodded, not trusting her voice. Warren carefully wrapped his arms around her, mindful of the prosthetics, pulling her close. Kelly's prosthetic arms couldn't return the embrace, but she leaned into him, resting her head against his chest, feeling his heartbeat steady and sure beneath her cheek. Do you really think, she asked, her voice muffled against his shirt, that someone like me could still deserve happiness? Warren pulled back just enough to look at her face. I think we both do, and maybe we could figure out what that looks like together one day at a time. No pressure, just possibility. For the first time since arriving at the café, Kelly's expression softened into something that resembled hope. "I'd like that," she whispered. Their second date was at Bella Vista, a small Italian restaurant on the edge of town. Warren arrived first and chose a quiet corner table away from the main crowd. Kelly arrived right on time, wearing a simple blue dress, her prosthetic arms barely visible with the long sleeves. Warren stood as she approached, and the smile she gave him was less guarded than before. "Hi," she said. "Hi yourself," Warren replied, pulling out her chair. The first challenge came when the waiter brought bread and olive oil. Kelly stared at the basket, and Warren saw the micro-expression of frustration cross her face. "May I?" Warren asked quietly, reaching for the bread. "Please," Kelly said, relief in her voice. Warren tore off a piece of bread, dipped it in the oil, and held it near her mouth. Kelly took a bite, and for a moment they both froze, the intimacy of the gesture suddenly very present between them. "Is this weird?" Kelly asked. "I don't know," Warren said honestly. "Does it feel weird to you?" Kelly considered this. "No," she said finally. "It feels kind like you're not making a production of it. Then it's not weird. It's just us figuring things out." When their entries arrived, chicken marsala for her, carbonara for him. Warren noticed Kelly's hesitation. "I usually use a straw for drinks," she said quietly, nodding toward her water glass. It's easier than trying to lift cups." "And food," she gestured at her plate with one prosthetic arm. "I have adaptive dishes at home. Plates with high edges so I can scoop food against them. Special utensils I can manipulate with my prosthetics. But restaurants are always tricky." "What helps?" Warren asked simply, his tone matter of fact. Kelly looked surprised by the directness. Usually someone cutting things into bite-sized pieces and not making it weird. "I can do that," Warren said. He reached across and began cutting her chicken into smaller pieces, his movements efficient and casual, like he was preparing his own food. Better. Kelly's eyes grew bright. Perfect. They talked through dinner about her work as a data analyst, about his job managing a local hardware store, about Iris's obsession with butterflies. Warren fed Kelly bites of food when she nodded, and after a while the gesture became so natural that neither of them remarked on it. "Tell me about the accident," Warren said during dessert tiramisu they were sharing. "Only if you want to." Kelly was quiet for a moment. "I was operating a textile press," she said finally. "It was my 4th year at the plant. I knew the equipment, knew the safety protocols, but there was a malfunction, something in the hydraulic system. The machine came down while my arms were still in position." She took a shaky breath. "I remember the sound first. This awful grinding, then the pain, then people screaming." Warren reached across the table and rested his hand near hers, close but not touching, letting her control the proximity. "They got me out in under 10 minutes. But the damage was already done. Complete crush injuries to both arms. The surgeons said amputation was the only option. I woke up 3 days later, and she trailed off. Everything I'd taken for granted was just gone. How long until you got the prosthetics?" 6 months. Had to wait for the residual limbs to heal, for the swelling to go down. Patricia, my aide, she helped me through that time. Learning to do basic things without arms is humbling doesn't even begin to cover it. Kelly's voice grew softer. "My fiancé tried at first. He really did. But I could see it in his eyes every time he had to help me shower or feed me or adjust my clothes. The disgust, the resentment. He didn't sign up for this. He said he had fallen in love with an independent woman, not someone who needed constant care." "He was a coward," Warren said quietly. "Maybe. Or maybe he was just honest about something most people would feel but wouldn't say." "No," Warren said firmly. Most people aren't that shallow. He was a coward. Kelly looked at him for a long moment. Why are you so sure? Because I've needed help, Warren said. After Colleen died, I couldn't function. My sister Paige had to come stay with us for 2 months. She cooked, cleaned, made sure Iris got to school, made sure I got out of bed. He looked down at his hands. There were days I couldn't even dress myself because the grief was so heavy I could barely move. And you know what Paige said to me? What she said? This is what love looks like. Showing up when someone can't manage on their own. That's not weakness. That's being human. Kelly's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they felt different, cleaner somehow. I think I'm starting to believe that maybe you're right, she whispered. Maybe I do still deserve happiness. You do, Warren said, and I'd really like to help you find it, if you'll let me. Their third date was a walk through Lithia Park, the paths winding through old-growth trees and alongside a creek that bubbled over smooth stones. Kelly was more relaxed now, her steps more confident. I can't hold hands, she said as they started down the main path. I know that's probably something you'd want to do, but the prosthetics don't work that way. They're not hands, they're tools. They help me do some things, but they can't, she trailed off. They can't do things like that. Then we'll find other ways, Warren said. He gently hooked his arm through hers, letting her prosthetic arm rest in the crook of his elbow. How's this? Kelly looked down at their linked arms, then up at his face. Perfect, she said, voice thick with emotion. They walked in comfortable silence for a while. The only sounds the creek and the birds overhead. Warren felt something settling in his chest. Something he hadn't felt since Colleen died. Peace, maybe, or the beginning of it. Can I ask you something? Kelly said. Anything. What made you say yes to this? To the blind date? To me? Warren thought about the question carefully. My sister set up the dating profile without asking me. I was furious at first. I wasn't ready. Didn't think I'd ever be ready. But then you messaged me. What did I say? You quoted a line from a book. Still learning that it's okay to take up space in the world. Warren glanced at her. That resonated with me. After Colleen died, I felt like I was just taking up space. Like I was this hollow thing going through the motions, but not really living. And here you were saying the exact thing I'd been feeling, but couldn't put into words. Kelly nodded slowly. It's from a memoir I read about a woman who survived a house heir. She said that for years afterward she felt like she didn't deserve to exist anymore because she'd survived and her family hadn't. She spent years making herself smaller, quieter, less present, until someone told her that her existence wasn't something to apologize for. Do you still feel that way? Like you need to apologize for existing? Sometimes, most times, I look at people living normal lives, holding coffee cups, typing on keyboards, opening doors without thinking about it, and I feel like I'm a burden, like I'm asking the world to accommodate something broken. Warren stopped walking. He turned to face her fully, his expression serious. You're not broken. You're different. Those are not the same thing, aren't they? No. Broken implies you need to be fixed to have value. Different just means the world needs to make room for you. And the world should make room for you, Kelly. You deserve to take up space. Kelly's eyes shimmered. I'm falling for you, she said, the words coming out in a rush. And it terrifies me, because what if you wake up one day and realize how much work I am? What if Warren kissed her? It was soft and brief, just a press of lips, but it said everything he didn't have words for yet. When he pulled back, Kelly was staring at him with wide eyes. I'm falling for you, too. And yes, it's terrifying. But you know what's more terrifying? Not taking this chance, not seeing where this could go. Kelly leaned forward, resting her forehead against his chest. Okay, let's see where this goes. 3 months into their relationship, Warren knew it was time for Kelly to meet Iris. He'd talked about Kelly constantly, his daughter rolling her eyes affectionately whenever he mentioned, "My friend Kelly," with that particular softness in his voice. "Daddy, when do I get to meet her?" Iris had asked over breakfast one Saturday morning, her brown curls escaping the ponytail he'd attempted. "Soon," Warren had promised. "I just want to make sure the timing is right." "The timing's been right for forever," Iris said with the blunt wisdom of a 7-year-old. "You're just scared I won't like her, but I already know I will because you smile when you talk about her. The real smile, not the pretend one you use for Mrs. Ruth when she asks how you're doing." Warren choked on his coffee. Now walking toward the park with Kelly beside him, Warren felt his heart hammering, not because he worried about Iris's reaction. His daughter had a heart bigger than most adults, but because he wanted Kelly to feel comfortable, accepted, loved. "She's going to ask questions," Warren warned, "probably very direct ones. 7-year-olds don't really have filters." "I prefer direct," Kelly said, though her voice held a tremor of nervousness. "It's the tiptoeing around things that's hard." They spotted Iris immediately, a blur of energy racing toward them, her curls flying behind her. "Kelly!" Iris shouted, skidding to a stop in front of them. "Hi, you're Kelly. Daddy told me about you." Then Iris stopped short, her eyes going to Kelly's prosthetic arms. Her expression wasn't fear or disgust, just open, unfiltered curiosity. "Wow," Iris breathed. "Those are really cool. Are they heavy? Can you pick things up with them? Do they make robot sounds?" "Iris," Warren started, but Kelly smiled. "It's okay," she said, kneeling down to Iris's level. "They are kind of cool, aren't they?" "Yes, they're heavy, about 5 lb each. And no, I can't pick things up with them. They don't work like real hands, but they help me do some things like push doors open or carry bags with handles." "So what do you do when you need to pick something up?" Iris asked, genuine curiosity in her voice. "Usually I ask someone to help me," Kelly said honestly. "Or I use my feet if it's something on the ground. I've gotten pretty good at using my toes." Iris's eyes went wide. "That's so cool. I wish I could use my feet for stuff. Daddy says I have to use my hands for eating, but feet would be way more fun." "We're keeping food away from feet, thank you," Warren said, trying not to laugh. Iris tilted her head, studying Kelly thoughtfully. "If you need help with stuff, I'm really good at helping. I help Daddy all the time. I can reach high things and low things, and I'm very careful." "Well, sometimes I drop things, but Daddy says that's okay because I'm still learning." Kelly's eyes grew bright with tears. "Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you." "Come on," Iris said, her moment of seriousness passing as quickly as it came. "I want to show you my favorite tree. It's the best climbing tree in the whole park." She started to reach for Kelly's prosthetic hand, then paused, looking uncertain for the first time. "You can walk next to me," Kelly said gently. "We can talk while we walk." "Okay." Iris skipped alongside them, chattering about butterflies and her friend Emma, and how Mrs. Ruth let them watch a documentary about monarch migration. At the ice cream shop afterward, Warren helped Kelly with her cone, holding it for her between bites. Iris watched with interest, her own cone dripping chocolate down her fingers. "Do you need someone to help you eat all the time?" Iris asked. "Not all the time. At home I have special bowls and plates that make it easier for me to eat by myself. They have high edges so I can scoop food against them. But ice cream cones are tricky. They're hard to hold, and they melt fast." "I could help you," Iris offered eagerly. "I'm really good at holding things. I drop things, too, all the time." Actually, even with my prosthetics, Iris looked delighted by this revelation. "Really? Daddy gets upset when I drop things sometimes. He says, I need to be more careful." "I think your daddy just worries about you," Kelly said, glancing at Warren with a soft smile. "That's what people do when they love you." Later, as they walked back to Warren's car, Iris slipped her small hand into Kelly's prosthetic hand, letting it rest against the cool metal. "I like you," Iris announced. "You're nice and you don't talk to me like I'm a baby and you smell like vanilla. Can you come over for dinner sometime?" Kelly looked at Warren, her eyes asking permission. "I think that sounds perfect," Warren said. As he drove Kelly home that evening after Iris went back to Mrs. Ruth, she was quiet, staring out the window. "You okay?" Warren asked. "Your daughter is amazing," Kelly said. "She didn't treat me like I was broken or scary. She was just curious and accepting and so kind. She gets that from her mother," Warren said quietly. "Colleen had this way of making everyone feel seen, accepted. Iris inherited that." Kelly came for dinner the following Friday. Warren had spent all day cooking. Well, trying to cook with Iris as his assistant chef. "Daddy, you're burning the garlic," Iris pointed out. "I see that, thank you," Warren said, frantically staring. When Kelly arrived, Iris opened the door proudly. "We made spaghetti." "Well, Daddy made it and I helped by not touching the stove." Kelly laughed. A real, genuine laugh that made Warren's heart skip. Dinner was chaotic in the best way. Iris told elaborate stories about her day, demonstrating with wild hand gestures that nearly knocked over her milk twice. Warren helped Kelly with her food, and Iris helped too, carefully cutting Kelly's garlic bread into smaller pieces without being asked. After dinner, they settled in the living room. Iris brought out her collection of butterfly books, spreading them across the coffee table. "This is my favorite." Iris pointed to a picture of a monarch. "They fly all the way to Mexico every year, thousands of miles. Mrs. Ruth says it's one of nature's greatest mysteries how they know where to go. They navigate by the sun and by sensing the Earth's magnetic field. It's like they have a built-in compass." Iris's eyes went wide. "Really? That's so cool. How do you know that?" "I read a lot," Kelly admitted. "It's one of the things I can still do easily. My e-reader has voice commands and a stylus I can use with my mouth to turn pages." "Can I see?" Kelly pulled out her phone, demonstrating how she navigated using voice commands and the adaptive stylus. Iris was fascinated, asking question after question. Warren watched them together, his daughter so naturally accepting, so genuinely interested, and Kelly relaxing more with every minute, her guard lowering. Later, after Iris had gone to bed, Warren and Kelly sat on the couch, close but not quite touching. "She's wonderful," Kelly said, softly. "You've done an incredible job with her." "Most days I feel like I'm failing," Warren admitted. "Like I'm not enough for her." "You are," Kelly said firmly. "She's happy, curious, kind, confident. Those things come from feeling loved and safe. You've given her that." Warren turned to look at Kelly, and the words came before he could stop them. "I'm in love with you." Kelly's breath caught. "Warren, you don't have to say it back," Warren said quickly. "I just needed you to know. I love you. I love how you're honest about your limitations, but don't let them define you. I love how patient you are with Iris's questions. I love that you let me help you without making it feel like a burden." I love Kelly leaned forward and kissed him, cutting off his words. When she pulled back, she was crying. "I love you too," she whispered. "And it terrifies me, because what if this is too much? What if you realize that dating me is one thing, but actually building a life with me is?" "Stop," Warren said gently. He cupped her face in his hands, wiping her tears with his thumbs. "We'll figure it out together. One day at a time. Together," Kelly echoed, leaning into his touch. As the months passed, Warren learned the intricate details of Kelly's life, the things she could do, the things she needed help with, and the careful balance between assistance and independence. He learned that mornings were hardest. Kelly had a routine with Patricia, her aide, who came Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. to help her shower and get dressed in clothes that had complicated buttons or zippers. On the days Patricia doesn't come, I wear easier clothes, Kelly explained one evening, showing Warren her closet. Elastic waistbands, pullover shirts, slip-on shoes. I've adapted my wardrobe to what I can manage. Warren learned about her apartment, too, carefully organized with everything in specific places. Lower cabinets for food she could reach by hooking her prosthetics through handles, voice-activated lights and temperature controls, a special stand for her phone that let her see the screen while using the mouth stylus. I've learned to do a lot, Kelly told him during one of his visits. Open my refrigerator by hooking my arm through the handle, use voice commands from my computer, turn doorknobs by using my prosthetics together like pliers. But there are things that are just impossible without help. Like what? Warren asked. Kelly hesitated. Cutting my nails, fixing my hair beyond a simple ponytail, opening jars, carrying anything that doesn't have a handle, picking up things I drop, buttoning pants, zipping zippers, putting on a bra. Her voice grew softer, wiping my own tears. Warren pulled her close. Then I'll be here for those things as much as you'll let me. Don't you ever feel burdened? Kelly asked against his chest. No, Warren said simply. I feel grateful. Grateful you trust me enough to let me in. Grateful you're patient with me when I don't know the best way to help. Grateful you're in my life at all. One evening, about 4 months into their relationship, Warren arrived at Kelly's apartment to find her in tears. Pasta sauce splattered across her kitchen floor. I can't even make a simple dinner. I'm so tired of being useless. Warren grabbed paper towels and started cleaning without comment. When the floor was clean, he stood and looked at Kelly. Really looked at her. You're not useless, he said firmly. You're human and humans. All humans need help sometimes. I need help. Iris needs help. Everyone needs help. He paused. How about we order takeout tonight? And maybe tomorrow you could teach me what helps you in the kitchen so when we cook together, I know the best way to be your hands. Kelly stared at him and slowly her expression shifted. You really want to cook with me even though it means doing most of the work yourself? I want to do things with you, Warren corrected. That's different than doing things for you. You tell me what you want to make, guide me through it, and I'll be your hands. We're a team. That night they ordered Chinese food, and Kelly directed Warren through organizing her kitchen in ways that would make future cooking easier. Lower shelves for frequently used items, a special cutting board with raised edges and suction cups on the bottom to keep it stable. Measuring cups with large handles Kelly could hook with her prosthetics. Tomorrow, Kelly said, I want to make lasagna. Will you help me? Absolutely, Warren said. The next evening, they made lasagna together. Warren's hands doing the physical work while Kelly directed every step, tasting the sauce, approving the cheese ratio, telling him exactly how to layer everything. It wasn't graceful. Warren dropped sauce on his shirt. Kelly accidentally knocked over the oregano with her prosthetic arm. They laughed more than they cooked. But when they pulled the finished lasagna from the oven, golden and bubbling, Kelly looked at it with tears in her eyes. I made that. We made that. We did. Warren agreed, kissing her temple. 5 months after their first date, Warren, Kelly, and Iris were having dinner at Warren's house. Spaghetti again because Iris had declared it her favorite when Iris made an announcement. I've been thinking very carefully, Iris said, setting down her fork with the seriousness of a judge delivering a verdict. And I made a list. A list? Warren asked, confused. Iris pulled out a piece of paper from her pocket, slightly crumpled, but clearly well prepared. A list of reasons why Kelly should move in with us. Warren nearly choked on his water. Kelly's eyes went wide. Would you like to hear it? Iris asked. Warren managed. Sure, Iris cleared her throat dramatically. Reason 1. Kelly makes Daddy smile the real smile. And I like when Daddy is happy. Reason 2, Kelly tells really good stories and she doesn't mind when I ask lots of questions. Reason 3, When Kelly is here, Daddy is calmer and doesn't worry as much about everything. Reason 4. I like helping Kelly with things, and Mrs. Ruth says helping people we love is important. Reason 5. I love Kelly and want her to be part of our family, the 3 of us together. Both adults were crying by the time Iris finished. Iris, Kelly said, her voice thick with emotion. That's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever said to me. Does that mean you'll think about it? Iris asked hopefully, looking between them. Warren took a deep breath. His heart was pounding, but everything suddenly felt clear. He turned to Kelly. She's right, he said about all of it. I love you, Kelly, and I know being together full-time means adapting. It means figuring out routines with Patricia. It means I'll help you with morning showers and evening routines and all the things in between. It means making our home accessible for you. But what we have is real. If you're ready, move in with us. Be part of this family. Let us be part of yours. Kelly looked between them, Warren with his earnest expression, Iris with her hopeful eyes, and thought about the woman who tried to run from the café months ago. That woman had been so convinced she didn't deserve love, so sure that her limitations made her unlovable, so certain that asking for help was the same as being a burden. But this man had shown her something different. He'd shown her that love wasn't about being perfect or independent. It was about being honest, about letting someone see you fully, limitations and all, and choosing each other anyway. Yes, Kelly said, her voice steady despite the tears streaming down her face. Yes, I want this. I want us. It won't always be easy. Nothing worth having is, Warren said, gently wiping her tears with his thumbs. Iris launched herself at them, somehow managing to wrap her arms around both of them. Best day ever. Well, top 5 at least. Warren laughed, and Kelly felt the vibration of it against her shoulder. For the first time in 4 years, she felt whole. Not because her arms had grown back, not because her limitations had disappeared, but because she'd found people who loved her exactly as she was. Moving in together was both easier and harder than Kelly expected. Easier because Warren and Iris made everything feel natural. They cleared space in the closet for her adaptive clothing. They lowered hooks in the bathroom so Kelly could hang towels where she could reach them. They moved frequently used items to accessible shelves harder because it meant Kelly's vulnerabilities were on full display every single day. Warren learned her morning routine, how Patricia would arrive at 7 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to help Kelly shower and dress for the day. How on other mornings Warren would help instead, patient and gentle as he washed her hair, careful as he helped her into clothes, matter of fact, as he brushed her teeth when she asked. Does it bother you? Kelly asked one morning, standing in the bathroom in just a towel while Warren fastened her bra. Having to do all of this? Helping me with things I should be able to do myself. His hands stilled on the clasp. Kelly, look at me. She met his gaze in the mirror. I don't do these things because I have to, he said gently. I do them because I love you. Because being this close to you in your most vulnerable moments is a privilege, not a chore. You trust me enough to let me help. That means everything to me. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm still learning to believe that. Then I'll remind you every day until you do, Warren replied, kissing her temple. Iris adapted too. She learned to carry the bags after grocery trips, sometimes looping the lighter ones carefully over Kelly's prosthetic arms, other times taking the heavy ones herself. She learned to ask before helping, to respect Kelly's independence while staying ready to step in. One afternoon, Kelly was in the kitchen wrestling with a jar of pasta sauce, bracing it against the counter and trying to twist the lid with her prosthetics. It wouldn't budge. Need help? Iris asked from the doorway. Yes, please, Kelly sighed, frustration clear in her voice. Iris popped it open without effort. Mrs. Ruth says everyone needs help sometimes, she said, handing it back. She says the bravest people are the ones who ask when they need it. Your teacher is very wise, Kelly murmured. Iris shrugged. She's okay, but I think you're braver than anyone in my whole school. You do so many things even though they're hard. That's really, really brave. Kelly had to excuse herself to cry in the bathroom after that. 6 months after Kelly moved in, they returned to Hidden Creek Beach, the place where everything had truly begun. It was a warm Sunday afternoon, the sky clear and the waves soft. Iris ran ahead along the shoreline, curls flying, hunting for shells. Warren and Kelly walked behind her, his arm linked through hers, comfortable in the quiet. "Do you remember what you asked me the first day we came here?" Warren said. Kelly smiled. "I asked if you thought I still deserved happiness." "And?" he asked. Kelly watched Iris spin in the sand, a daughter in all but paperwork, and thought about their life now. The adapted routines, the morning rituals, Warren's patient hands helping with everything from buttons to tears. The hard days when rage at her limitations boiled over and he simply stayed with her, not fixing, just present. Iris carrying bags without complaint. Patricia's knowing smiles when she arrived to find Warren already helping, the way their home had become a place where Kelly's needs weren't an imposition, but part of the natural rhythm. "You were right," Kelly said at last, voice steady. "I do deserve happiness. We all do. And I found mine with you." Warren stopped walking and turned to face her. "I have something for you," he said, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. Kelly's heart skipped. "It's not what you think," he added quickly. "Well, it is, but also it isn't." Inside was a simple silver necklace, a butterfly pendant with delicate wings. "I'm not proposing. Not yet. When I do, I want it to be perfect, and I want you to have all the time you need to be absolutely sure. But this is a promise. That I'm here. That I choose you every single day." Her tears spilled over and he wiped them away with gentle fingers. "May I put it on you?" he asked. She turned so he could fasten it at the back of her neck, then looked down to see the butterfly resting above her heart. "It's perfect," she whispered. Iris bounded over, breathless. "Are you guys being mushy again?" she teased, though her smile was warm. "Here, Kelly, I collected shells for you. For your shelf." Kelly knelt. "Will you put them in my pocket for me?" "Of course," Iris said, carefully tucking them in before looking up. "I love our family." "We love our family, too," Warren replied, pulling them into a group hug, Iris's small arms, Warren's strong ones, and Kelly's prosthetics that couldn't hold them back, but didn't need to, because she was held. Standing where their story started, Kelly thought of that first question. "Do you think I still deserve happiness?" The answer wasn't just yes. It was this moment, this family, this love built on honesty and the courage to believe everyone deserves happiness exactly as they are. Not once they're fixed, not despite their differences, but right now, as they are. It was choosing each other every day in the small acts of help freely given and humbly received, in adaptations born of love, not obligation, in seeing one another fully, scars, struggles, and all, and loving what they saw. Iris was learning that helping someone is a privilege, not a burden. Warren was discovering he was strong enough to be needed. Kelly was finally understanding that needing help didn't make her broken. It made her human. They chose this life, chose each other. And that choice made all the difference. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that you too deserve love and happiness with all your struggles and needs, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video, tell us in the comments what resonated most, and subscribe for more stories about being beautifully, imperfectly human. Because sometimes the bravest thing we can do is let someone love us, not in spite of who we are, but because of it. And if you're still wondering, you deserve happiness.